Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Find us on Facebook.com/SuperFunPodcast, Twitter.com/SuperFunPodcast, Patreon.com/SuperFunPodcast, Instagram at SuperFunPodcastGo, iTunes at Superfun Game Review Podcast Go. Thanks and enjoy the show.
All right, welcome to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go!
Yep. We're laughing because we've all been there. It's okay.
I would be way more at ease if it wasn't like the first episode I was recording.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
My name's Bo Bussington. Fuck!
All right, I'm going to start off with some introductions. I'm going to start off with Mr. Happy Bouse.
Jesus, Harold Faltermeyer Christ. What now?
We also have Ralph with us tonight.
Good morning, Babylon.
Mr. Steve.
War!
And Clark Main.
Whoa!
And I'm your host for the evening. My name is Joe. And they say two heads are better than one, but how does it fart?
Fantastic.
So, initial impressions, Clark?
What are we playing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
Wait, hold on. Take like an hour and a half and just listen to another episode.
Oh, man.
You're good, man.
So tonight we're going to be reviewing Serious Sam. We played a couple of games. We played the first encounter, the second encounter, and BFE, which is known as Big Fucking Encounter or Before First Encounter.
I was going to ask that, what the BFE was. I didn't want to look it up or anything. I was kind of like, what the hell? What does it stand for?
That's what we're doing tonight. So initial impressions, Clark?
I liked the Serious Sam games. Like, I think I played them for the original Xbox. I think it was the first Serious Sam HD. And ever since then, I've liked them for what they are, which is just kind of like a senseless shooter with not a lot of story and just kind of like roll with it, play, have fun, multiplayer. Like that's like the things that or co-op, not multiplayer, co-op.
Steve?
I never even heard of the game, be honest with you. And then
Really?
Yeah, I know. There's a shocker. That's a shocker.
He's making the finger
making the
gesture,
shocker
listeners.
fingers. You know it, Ralph.
Ow!
He has a variation where there's one.
Ralph is
pink
clearly
and
loose.
two in the stink.
Yes. I just 5 in the brown because it's brown. But well,
Yeah.
well,
Bum.
well, my initial impression was I was just happy because since it is an older game, I could actually run it on my old-ass PC. Well, no, that's a lie. Initially, I could not, and then I had to get a new graphics card. Super cheap, though, but then, yeah, and then just pretty much seeing that it is just a mindless shooter, first-person shooter, that you can just have, 16 people co-op or something?
Yeah.
Which we never got up that high, but still, just that being the premise of the game, I was looking forward to it.
Nice. Ralph?
I've played this before, actually. I played the first encounter with Bob, believe it or not. We played, I think, on the 360, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while. I don't know if that one you can play, like the Xbox game on the 360. I don't remember. But I do remember the damn bone enemies that throw the metal ball and chain at you. It's
The
just
Minotaurs.
the Minotaurs. They're so fucking annoying. I do remember that. And I remember the Egyptian setting and just being like, what the fuck are we doing? We're just running and shooting. And it being very, very, very simple. Not a lot of narrative at all.
How simple?
Very, 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 very simple.
5. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Keeping count. 5. That's 5.
It's pretty very.
Yeah.
So
Okay, go Harry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, that's fine.
No. Fucking Harry over here.
My experience with Serious Sam in the past was exclusively the Xbox title, playing offline. But I do remember the thing that stuck out about this game was the laser rifle and the amount of enemies that were on the screen, and knowing that the game had like really large environments as well. honestly, other than that, I didn't know anything else about the game. But it was kind of nice getting into this collection and just seeing, like Steve said, the 16-player co-op. That's you don't see that in a lot of games.
My impression was I actually played Serious Sam 3 BFE right when it first came out, pretty much. Maybe a couple months later, it actually went on sale on Steam for like a holiday sale. And
do you want to try that again?
Say on
Stale on Steam.
You said stale on Steam.
It was a stale on Steam.
Stale on Steam.
It was, yeah.
A little stale. Could use some work.
So yeah, a couple of my friends picked it up, and I think there was maybe 4 or 5 of us, and we played it pretty much in an evening. But I had so much fun with it, and I just wanted to get back into it and relive it because playing with everybody is just so much fun.
Good call, Joe.
It is.
That's definitely the driving force behind our shared experience.
I missed playing with you guys through BFE because I had to do pretty much like crunch work, so I had to play it pretty much by myself.
All right, so let's move into development.
Game development.
I don't have a lot for this. I think Crow Team really just kind of pumps these out at their leisure.
Sort of. They do work on it. They build the engine entirely themselves ever since the first one. So they actually started the engine for this based upon the initial Doom and Quake games. And there was actually no vertical aiming, just like the original Doom. It was just like left and right, aiming, all that kind of crap. And then Duke Nukem came out. And they were like, well, there's no way we're going to compete with that if we don't add this in. So they basically had to rebuild their engine to have that. And then when they showcased the game, well, technically it wasn't even a game. It was just them showcasing what they called the Serious engine. And they pitched it as just a demo, essentially. And with a price point, they were going to sell it. But it was a price point of basically half the price of regular normal selling games at the time. So that's where the game really picked up popularity.
Yeah, I could see that. If you don't hurt the wallet, that usually brings the boys to the yard.
So just jumping on your thoughts there. So yes, they did kind of steal some aspects from Doom, Quake, Duke Nukem, and all that.
I wouldn't say steal.
Not steal, but to stay competitive, I read, they had to kind of introduce some of the elements you were speaking of. But what they wanted to focus on to set themselves apart from their competitors was the really large environments and the massive amounts of enemies on the screen simultaneously.
Well, they nailed it.
Yeah, they did.
So that's kind of their standout to set themselves apart from their competitors.
Yeah, like Doom had the violence, Duke Nukem had like the lewdness and the puzzles, and this kind of has all of that and a little less there's no real lewdness to this, but it's mostly like the open arenas.
Some bulls.
Yeah.
Bulls.
Yeah, when to speak of the multi-enemy thing, to actually get the engine to run as well as it did on PCs way back then with having, when we played it, you saw how many enemies there are. Think about the computers that were available in 2001 when this came out.
Yeah.
Right.
For them to be able to handle something like this, what they did was, for the enemies, instead of having their hitboxes so accurate on enemies that were further away, they actually had generic hitboxes that were actually round spheres, so that there were less calculations going on in the game to increase performance. And then once the enemy got closer to you, they actually changed the hitbox to an accurate hitbox.
No kidding.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, it was
crafty.
pretty
Yeah.
groundbreaking for the time.
Yeah, seriously.
Stop.
Nice.
Stop.
What?
Serious counter. 1.
Thank you for picking up on that, Ralph.
He has like one of those clickers in his hand.
We said fuck 500 times and serious 320.
Oh, 2 clickers.
Fuck wins!
Double clickers.
So-
We'll wait for the transcript and see how many.
Yeah. So
Double clickers, bitch.
Don't say
Double
clicker.
gun,
Don't
bitch.
say clicker.
So I
Clicker?
I saw a couple of crazy things when I was doing some research on this game that I was extremely surprised about, right? So this game, not only did they really have to crunch it down for computers at the time, TFE, the first one that came out in 2001, right? They actually developed this game to run on Palm OS.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
they
Like little Palm Pilots?
Yeah, in color.
The fuck out of
That's
here.
I was gonna ask.
amazing. Holy shit.
I think I saw there's a GBA port.
I think there was a GBA version. It wasn't like the actual like TFE game, though.
Well,
The first encounter was actually released on Palm OS.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah. And I was just like, holy crap. I was like, how the hell, like, the computing power of a Palm Pilot at the time is insane. Like, nothing. And it released almost simultaneously with the actual PC version of the game. I actually never even heard of or played these games until 3, like I was saying. And I was surprised at how many accolades this game had when it came out. Like, pretty much every company gave it Game of the Year. Like, for 2001. For PC, like, GameSpot Game of the Year, IGN Editor's Choice 2001, EB Games #1 PC Game of 2001.
Not to take away from the game, but there was a really bad dry spell in the 2000 era because of the success of Counter-Strike and StarCraft and Diablo. There was a huge market, and they're all playing these 3 games. So when a game came out that actually like pushed the boundaries. You pushed it.
You gotta push that shit.
You gotta push that shit. When it pushed the boundaries, I'm just using it. I'm rolling with it. I'm living in it.
You're rolling it.
Rolling in the puss.
Look at the puss. Oh my gosh.
Me and Serious Sam and Duke Nukem would get along. Yeah, so when a game came along that like pulled people away from those established franchises, it was a big deal, and I remember specifically this was one of those games.
That surprises me, though, that it got that many awards. Not that it's a bad game or anything, but it just seems like this is a off-the-radar type of franchise. Like, this isn't as mainstream as I expected.
Are we talking 1, 2, or 3 now?
The first encounter.
The
The very
first
first
one.
one that
Okay,
was
thanks.
released.
You have to realize, too, like, when did Serious Sam 3 come out?
Serious Sam 3 came out in 2011.
This is almost a 10-year-old game at this point. It's a cool game. I miss arena shooters like this. It's a dying art, honestly, like when it comes to stuff like this. Like the resurgence of Doom. Doom is essentially out there uncontested right now.
Serious Sam 4 is slated for this year.
It's true.
Oh, wow,
It's
really?
true.
Yes.
Oh,
Cool.
shit.
Dope.
I'll pick that up for sure.
Yeah.
10 years after that climax at the end of 3.
I know.
You imagine the blue balls of the serious fans?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? No, just knowing what happened next at the end of 3, waiting 10 years.
Dude, that takes place before the first 2 games.
Yeah, the series of events. Well, do we want to move into story?
Yeah, let's move into the story.
I think we're ready.
Yeah.
Story.
What story?
Yeah, right. That's the problem with this game, right? So the first encounter and second encounter don't show you cutscenes if you're playing co-op. So you miss pretty much the entire story. Like, it just starts you in the level, you play through, there's no story involved. The only story you can get out of it is pulling up the Nistrika, which is like your computer AI, to get lore, but you can't really do that in a co-op game because you'll get left behind.
Yeah.
Um,
Quickly.
the nice part about the third one is that when you do play co-op, you do get all the cutscenes and you kind of get more of the story out of it.
Yeah, that was a nice addition to actually see what the hell's going on.
So that being said, the third one actually timeline-wise takes place first, right? So it's the third one, then the first encounter, then the second encounter. The premise of the story is that, humanity, they're doing a whole bunch of research and they find these Syrians, which are kind of like this ancient alien type race that left a lot of stuff on Earth.
Stargate, the shooter.
Essentially. So yeah, they find all this stuff about the Syrians. They're doing research. Then the monster race invades Earth. Humanity is basically determined that we don't stand a chance. So our only option is based on this Syrian research that we did. There's a time machine we can use, and hopefully we can go back time because we can't beat them now. We'll go back in time and see if we can just prevent it from happening to begin with. Yeah. So the third game, which happens first, is basically you acknowledging that and getting to the time warp.
Let's do that again.
It's just a jump to the left.
And then a slide to the right.
Crisscross.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you know it's coming. You know it.
Everybody.
Clap your hands.
We're dumb.
We're on the spectrum.
Cut that.
So the end of the third game, you basically get to the time warp. And that's kind of the nice thing about where these games play. It's literally like the last scene in the previous game transitions right into the next scene of the next game. Like, there's literally no gap. So the end of the third game, you enter the time warp, and then the very first scene of the first encounter is basically you coming out of the time warp. And that's pretty much where the story falls apart, really, in my opinion. Because, like, from there, it's, you know, continue searching for random things as you move through.
Pretty much.
That about sums it
Pretty
up.
much.
Yeah.
Or kill all the
And-
things.
Kill a
The
giant
normal
demon with a UFO.
Yeah. And then at the end of the first encounter, basically you find all these things, and then the one item you finally find near the end summons like the starship from Mental, who is like the monster race that's invading Earth, and like summons it, and then you try to blow it up, but you actually board it, and then that's the end of the game.
Yep.
Like, you're just on the ship at the end of the game. And then you move into the second encounter, and it starts off, you're on the ship, and then if you didn't watch the cutscene, it's one of the most ridiculous cutscenes you'll ever see.
Oh, shit. I didn't watch the cutscene.
Really?
Yeah. I
Oh, my
fucking
God.
missed it.
You remember the big head crow team guys that were in the graveyard?
Yes.
So they're riding on a space school bus.
Okay.
The magic school bus.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's no
Magic
actual
short
walls
bus.
or anything on the school bus. They're just like big-headed people flying through space and like singing random songs. And they crash into the spaceship that you're on.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the ship starts to go down, and Sam looks down and he's like, "Fucking Egypt again! God damn it!"
Oh, thank God, because I felt the same way booting that game up. I was like, son of a bitch. It's more Egypt.
So throughout the second encounter, you basically, the ship goes down. There's no way to get to this other race. You actually find out about a secondary ship that's hidden in time, but in an alternate time and location. So basically, you spend the entire game skipping through time through different eras, which is why you end up through like ancient England, like medieval times, and other places like that. And then at the end of the game, you find the ship and you travel off. And it kind of actually leads into Serious Sam 2. Like, the direction of these games is like all over the place. as
Yeah,
well.
Right,
they're,
right,
they're
right.
all sorts
It's
of crazy.
fucking ridiculous. But that's basically where we played through.
So is 4 to be presumed that it's going to take place after Serious Sam 2? Is that
Not the second encounter, which is what we played, but there's the second encounter and then there's Serious Sam 2.
okay?
Now
Yeah.
you lost me.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Serious Sam 3, timeline-wise, right? Serious Sam 3. Then the first encounter. Then the second encounter. Then Serious Sam 2.
Which is already out.
Yes. Serious
Yeah.
Sam
Yes.
2 came out in 2008? 2005.
Is Serious Sam the same as Serious Sam First Encounter, or are they two different games?
Okay, so
There
what,
is no Serious Sam standalone title.
so what is coming out this year?
Serious Sam 4,
Okay.
Planet Badass.
Planet Badass.
It was that planet. It's pretty badass.
Let's see.
It's a New York badass. Phil Baroni.
Baroni.
It's a first-person shooter. It's got aliens and a badass character, and the game took 10 years to make. Where have I heard this before?
forever.
Where have I
Is that what you're
heard
about
this
to say?
before?
I'm walking over here.
I'm walking
I'm walking. I'm the New York badass Phil Baroni.
I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. I don't know.
Talking about the New York badass
Great.
Phil Baroni.
Whoever that is.
Phil
great.
Baroni.
Baroni.
You don't want to mess with the Baroni.
No.
Unless you're Amir Sadala and just annihilate him.
Oh, is he UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, a little
Was.
backstory on that so everyone understands.
Do
the
we
joke.
really need it? I don't think we do.
Yeah, it's 2 seconds, so shut the fuck up.
1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
No, let's do Louisiana's. They're better.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, so
One Louisiana. That's the story.
Yeah.
what?
So 4 is coming out, and it's going to be good, and it takes place somewhere. in
Yeah,
the
so
timeline.
their goal on 4,
Sounded like
which
Trump for a minute.
they demoed at their last press conference over their engine builds and stuff like that, where they were actually able to get 100,000 enemies on the screen simultaneously.
100,000 enemies.
100,000 was their goal for the
They're all
new
gonna be
engine.
fucking toads.
Oh my god.
We're going to need 10 more friends.
From the screenshot I saw, it was at least half of them the kamikaze guys.
Oh well, that's one shot. It blows them all
Yeah,
up.
I know.
So.
Yeah.
It's great. Those were favorite characters in the whole game.
That'll instantaneously fry anyone's computer.
Yeah, all those explosions.
Yeah. Blue screen.
Crisis 3 is no longer the gold standard.
Yeah.
Let's shoot our way into gameplay.
There you go. There you go.
Gameplay.
Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew.
Bow, bow, da-dow, da-da-dow.
Dude, that chainsaw was fucking badass.
Chainsaw is my favorite fucking weapon in the game.
Oh, what?
I
There was
missed
none
it.
in
I
three.
missed it in 3.
The
None in
grenade
3.
launcher in 1, dude. That was the shit.
Dude.
The rockets. The rockets.
There are a lot of guns that just suck ass in this game.
It's like 60% of them.
Yeah, 60% of them suck.
I wouldn't say that high. I would say maybe 20%.
It
Yeah.
seems that way. You seem to hover on 1 or 2. I focused on the assault rifle and the Devastator. And then the cannon, of course, 'cause the cannon is OP.
Cannon.
No
is
one's gonna
fucking
dispute that.
Fun.
Yeah, the cannon's awesome.
Harry went balls to the wall with the C4. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that clip.
You saw the clip?
nuts.
Yeah.
Went
Yeah,
nuts.
it was that, but it was
fantastic.
like 10 minutes of that because we had to clear a hallway.
You know, we should just throw that out there right now. There's a lot of footage of all of us playing this game together on Twitch right now.
Yeah, I pretty much streamed the entire playthrough.
I streamed everything that I played, but part of 2, and I didn't stream any of 3.
I think I only had like an hour where I didn't play with you guys, other than like the first one, and then I jumped in with some randoms, but that was about it.
You play with randos?
Yeah, that didn't work out too well. I got separated, and then they got angry that I couldn't get there, and then they just quit. I'm like, oh,
I was really hoping you were going to get vote kicked.
no, I did not get vote kicked.
That's an experience.
But I mean, they
bet.
could progress without you, though. I don't know what the issue was there.
They were.
Yeah, right. If there was only 3 of you, it's not like you couldn't fit another 13 people
Right.
in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just having you there was like beneficial to them, even if you were doing nothing.
So gameplay, yeah, the best part of this game is just playing together. The online co-op is just where it's at.
That cannot be overstated.
So happy together.
Yeah, I don't think I would have enjoyed this game as much if I was playing.
It's nowhere
Solo
near as
with
fun.
No.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
it really isn't. I actually found myself like really having to force myself to get through Serious Sam 3. I was just like, fuck, I just don't. This isn't as fun. I'm like running through levels because so that's one thing that separates 3 from the originals that I did want to bring up. 3, you have some agency to go about the levels a little differently. There are a few levels that you can kind of like bypass certain things by like running or being clever, or I think it's like the 6th level. If you go outside of the town and run along the outside of the town, there's enemies out there, and then it allows you to hop back into like the middle of the level, but you bypass 3 puzzles doing it that way. And I just like randomly found that, and I thought that was fucking awesome because I was just like fucking around looking for ammo. What was everyone's like favorite weapon? I liked the chain laser, I guess. First Encounter 1 and 2. However, that was replaced by my love for the fucking Devastator
Hands down.
in 3. The Devastator is fucking amazing.
I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite parts of 3 was just meleeing the fuck out of everything.
Oh, yeah.
And there
That
is
was
Steve
fun.
would go berserker and just be like, "That's it, melee."
Yeah.
everything. There's even like the big fat round guys who would shoot like the rockets at you. You could melee them, run up and like tear off their face.
And then you kiss it. You give it a little kiss. Seriously, you just like, "Bah."
I got,
Seriously.
Seriously,
And
man.
Clark said it.
Yeah, seriously, Ralph.
Seriously.
but yeah, I really did enjoy the chainsaw was probably one of my favorite ones. And even though you're like right in the shit of things with all the enemies, that would actually kill them pretty fucking quick. It was powerful, but people get so caught up in the guns they don't really go for it.
You want to recount the tale of when we held
chainsaws?
the door together
Oh,
from
yeah.
the bull attack?
That was so much fun.
That was
Yeah,
great.
we backed up near that was the last level right before the last boss, right? We just
Yeah.
all backed up into the one door. We just all chainsawed up and everything was just rushing us. Even the bulls were just going down instantly.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
5 chainsaws just bzzz, dead.
It was a slaughterhouse.
usually
Yeah.
one person would die when the bull would rush in, and then everybody else just chainsawed the fuck out of it and dead.
We got smarter though. Like if you jumped right before it came, like
It would hit the door behind you.
Yeah.
And then you'd be able to just chainsaw it down. Yeah. It was
yeah,
That was so great.
So fun.
just matador the shit out of it.
That onslaught was long.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That
It was-
took forever.
There are some parts of this game that are just absolutely not necessary when it
Tedious.
comes to
Yeah.
there's some tedium for sure. There's a really long one in 4 or 3 rather.
No, 2.
No one.
No. No.
No. This is all wrong.
Seriously, guys?
What point in the timeline does this take
3.
place?
It's in Serious Sam 3. The tunnels at the end of that.
I like that. I thought that was.
It was fucking ridiculous. Okay, you had a group of 4 people
Well,
doing
yeah.
that. I had myself, and that fucking sucked. If I died, I started from the beginning.
Oh.
I there's no arcade for single player in that until you beat it once. So I was like fucked. It took me like 4 or 5 tries to get through it. I would run until a point where I started getting caught up by enemies, and I'd turn around and just Devastator, and like try to get as much fucking space as I could. But holy fuck, I there's no way I would have made it through that without
you're-
just running through it.
So
I just picked up on what you were talking about. You're talking about the big canyon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
Okay,
canyon.
Gotcha.
'cause
Yeah, I
know-
think they just keep respawning too. Like I don't think there's an end to that wave.
Yeah. That's that was the problem. I kept getting caught up, and
You just gotta keep pushing.
Yeah. No, there was a couple
is
times
almost
there
impossible.
where I couldn't move because I was literally surrounded by enemies.
I can't imagine what it would have been like to go through those canyons by myself, and I would have been fucking frustrated and probably would have rage quit.
it sucked.
Because it was not particularly. I mean, I guess we were having a good time.
We were
I
having
would've-
a good time, but there was a lot of
There was a
deaths.
lot of
Oh, yeah.
I would have had a blast if I was going through it with you guys. But again, it's
Yep.
literally like you die, you start at the fucking beginning again. So I'd be getting to like the 3rd bend where I could see the outside of it and die.
See the finish line.
Fuck you.
Or I'd get just outside of the end of it and you have to make it past that first city to get to the final boss. I'd die in the city, it would push me all the way back to the beginning of the caverns. I was like, oh my God.
Is that where we have to get the gas for the car?
Yeah.
Oh,
No. This is right before the last boss.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Okay.
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 Yeah, the
Just
car
trying to
was
remember.
before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
because the car broke down in the middle of the desert. Then we ran to the canyon.
Oh, thank
Oh
you.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're right.
So I gotta say, that last boss, I think, is the most innovative thing in the entire all of the games.
I enjoyed that last boss.
I thought it was really fucking cool.
You had to throw the poles in its back to get the
Yeah.
lightning
Yeah.
to strike.
Yup.
I thought we'd fight the worm.
I was disappointed we didn't fight the
Yeah.
worm. The worm fought us, but we couldn't fight it.
I got eaten by the worm like 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
we got eaten a bunch.
we
Steve
were-
found like a secret shotgun that was like off in the distance when you spawn with like no weapons after the chopper goes down.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve found like a shotgun like way off, but you had to get past the worm to get to it.
Oh shit.
And so
Yeah.
I'm out here. I'm like, oh, found a secret shotgun on me, and you just see like Ralph and Harry come, and then all of a sudden, worm.
Yeah, great white attack from the sand.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Even though we would have gotten it just moving forward like 3 minutes later.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. Still, it's
We
the-
didn't know
the
that
challenge.
then.
The experience of it was enough. But something I did appreciate after being stuck in Egypt for so long was blowing up that fucking Sphinx. That was enjoyable. And the whole time, you can't destroy an ancient artifact or da-da-da. It's like, yeah. Just blow it the fuck up.
Please don't blow up the Sphinx. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's time for Plan B.
Boom! Now things are really getting serious.
Ding. So yeah, run and shoot. Run and
That's
shoot.
the crux of the gameplay, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed the power ups in 3, like having the
runny shoes
Yeah.
and the invincibility and
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, those were fun.
They should have stuck with that.
I like
You-
the jetpack too, and normally I hate when they introduce a new gameplay element in the final boss like that, but this one was okay.
Make an exception for that one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It controlled pretty well, honestly, for
Yeah.
something that they're just going to throw in there. It's like control everything with spacebar and go.
I didn't
Okay.
find it for like a minute. The rest of them were, oh yeah, fucking jetpack going around. I'm like, I'm on the ground. I'm just jumping. It's like, what's wrong? Oh, there it is.
The end of 3, especially for me, was started to get very challenging. And I
Yeah.
started to realize that, like, oh shit, I don't have all of the weapons either. I missed weapons. I totally missed weapons. Like, I didn't have the laser gun. I didn't have the...
The
I was
laser
like,
gun's barely in 3.
yeah, you only
Yeah.
get like ammo for it like once after you get it.
We found the weapon and like 50 rounds of ammo, and we didn't see anything else.
I never even got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you didn't miss much.
That
That's brutal.
Devastator, though, it just, like, carried me. Anytime I was having issues, it was like, oh, yeah, that's right. This isn't the fucking grenade launcher.
No.
This is fucking awesome.
They pretty much planned for that because there was like Devastator ammo aplenty
Oh, yeah.
everywhere. It was
Loved
that
it.
and the rockets. But I mean, between the two, I'm like, rockets can go to fucking hell.
So slow.
Real quick on the
It'll
rockets.
take forever to get there.
It was a lot of fun. Just be like, wow, that's really off in the distance. Shoot a rocket and just watch it go.
Yeah, 45 seconds to a minute later, where they're, like, zoomed in with the sniper scope, like, It hit guys, and then I turn around, and you guys are like 500 feet away from me. Like, fuck.
No, speaking just to clarify to our audience how slow these rockets are. I had an experience. I don't know if we got it caught, but I shot a rocket. A bull ran past it, hit a wall, turned around, ran back, and got hit by that rocket.
I had the boots, and I shot a rocket and outran my rocket.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And like that should never happen. It's rocket propulsed fucking grenades. Like, what the fuck is happening?
They didn't. The rockets weren't wearing shoes.
Yep. Yeah, they needed the shoes.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I'm kind of wrapping up on my gameplay thoughts, but I did want to push just a favorite level out there was actually in 2. The ice level where
Fucking right.
where you chase down
I missed
Santa
that whole
Claus.
thing.
Yeah, no, it starts out as ice, then you go into like this lava volcano, whatever shit, and then come back out. Then you're going across this like frozen pond, and all the enemies are just sliding around. And it was awesome.
That was fun. That was one that I hopped in right at the end of.
It's just fucking bulls sliding all over the place. That was so much fun. We were giggling so hard with that.
Oh, it was welcoming to the bulls that level.
Yeah, that was the only time where it's like, this is acceptable.
Every other time we're just like bulls and just like as a joke, and then they were there anyway.
I have another question before we wrap up gameplay. Favorite enemy, least favorite enemy? Do you want to play that?
I got to admit, the bone guys who throw the chain thing, that's more annoying than the bulls for me, especially towards the end. Once in 3, the bulls seemed way more manageable than in the first 2 encounters. But an enemy that I liked.
What are you thinking on that?
Yeah, go for it, Steve.
Sure.
Fucking hate the toads. Those toads are the fucking worst, and they wouldn't stop until I realized just pull out the chainsaw and wait for them to jump at you.
Unless they were the toads in 1. Or the first encounter when you didn't have the chainsaw.
Yeah. If it was in 1, that was terrible. But in second encounter, at least then with the chainsaw, that made it a lot less frustrating. Favorite enemies? I liked some of the mechs. That was kind of neat to kind of throw them in there. There was like the smaller blue ones and the big red ones. I don't know. I thought they were pretty neat looking.
I really thought you would have went for the harpies, Steve.
Well,
Yeah, we'll talk about that in graphics.
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, as soon as the harpy popped on there, that was not
Steve
the only
muted his
thing
mic
popping.
and started furiously masturbating.
Erect.
So my
Moving
favorite
in.
enemy was the kamikaze guys.
Oh yeah.
They were kind of a welcome sight every time because I knew I could take them out easily. Hopefully, I could take out a bunch of other guys with them. They weren't too threatening, but they were kind of hilarious every time.
It is just
Way off in the distance. And then you'd be like, "Yep, here they're coming."
yeah. I never got annoyed at them screaming.
No.
I just sit there and just like
Enjoyed it
funny.
every time.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, as far as least favorite goes, now I kind of agree with Ralph. The bone things were really getting on my nerves, and they're more bullet spongy than I think they should be, considering that
Agreed.
they're an early enemy in the game. But the sloths on the pillars kind of drove me nuts. How they're constantly shuffling out of sight, and then you have to use like rockets or C4 to kind of just blow their although I will say it was a funny moment where we released a bunch of those things in 3, and they all ran into the room looking for pillars, but we had destroyed down to the ground, and it was really funny. They were like looking for
They were
things
like
to jump on.
confused.
They didn't know what to
Oh,
do.
that's amazing!
It was really funny. Favorite enemy though, I think they're really easy to kill, but I like the look of them. They're like the one-eyed cyclops, almost gorilla kind of thing.
They're like red or blue.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
I know they're easy to kill.
They're
I
actually
like the,
male or female, is what those are.
Oh, is it? I thought.
Stop.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember seeing that in like the in
Yeah.
the notes. Like,
Yeah,
when
if
you
you-
pick
And
up
one
your little
shoots
Kodak.
rockets, one shoots bullets.
they
right?
make purple ones.
No, he's talking about like
Get it? Primary
big
colors mixing.
gorilla guy with the
Stop.
cyclops eye.
That's
That
so
just, like, run at
needless.
you.
That's so needless.
Oh wait, are you talking about the Cyclops?
Yeah, the things that like
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
You're thinking of the chainsaw head guys.
No,
with the pumpkin heads.
no. There's those red looking things and blue. They're just
Yeah,
reds and
okay,
blues.
yeah.
One shoots rockets, one shoots pistols,
Yeah.
or what something.
No, these don't have guns.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just the guys that run at you.
So my least favorite are the super harpies from 3.
They are super.
Yeah, that just like incap you.
Yeah, or they like pick you up and
Yeah.
you can't fucking do anything. That sucked.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the I thought they were like a witch kind of thing.
Yeah,
I got you. Super. Okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
whatever the fuck they are, they were flying. And I think my favorite enemy was the Pumpkinhead Chainsaw guys. I really liked them. I thought they were really cool. They were really good at like chasing you and kind of applying some pressure, because you just like be walking around and all of a sudden you just hear a chainsaw and you're like, oh fuck, where are the 7 of these coming from?
They had a lot of health too. Like,
They were not a pushover, which I thought was awesome. What I did like though is that you could essentially the real quick way to dispatch them was by using a chainsaw. You're like chainsaw dueling with them. I thought that was really fucking cool.
The boss fights were kind of cool though. I mean, not just the
Yeah,
last
for sure.
1 and 3, but there was the one that had like all the fucking crazy tornadoes and shit.
That was fun also.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
a
like a
good one.
ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that in the first one?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Because I kind of remember the second game being lackluster with the bosses. in general.
No, that was in the second one because I did that twice. I played it once with you guys, and I played it once when Steve was trying to catch up.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, that's the one standout boss in the second one, because all the other ones I kind of think.
Oh,
were
come
just-
on. The wizard at the end. I'm shaking my head. You can't hear it, but I'm being facetious.
I like the third game's bosses. The helicopter squid, you know.
That was pretty neat.
Well, so it's weird. All of the game's bosses, except for the last one, become normal enemies.
Yep.
Well,
Yep,
yeah.
Noticed that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's weird. I thought that was kind of like a weird take on that.
It's like boom, boss, and then all of a sudden you go to the next level, and that's your normal enemy, and you're like, "What? I feel
Yeah.
prepared for
Okay.
this."
You're like, oh, here's a scorpion with a health bar that's visible, and you kill it, and then here's scorpions and scorpion juniors, and
SNSJs. Though it was kind of funny when we were
An
fighting
SJ,
Scorpion Jr.
a sand job, or a serious job.
Wow.
it's a
That
serious
SSJ,
job.
serious sand job,
Really serious.
or a serious Sam job.
I did.
SHJ, a serious hand job, or a sad hand job.
Sad.
That one's with tears.
It's like the kind that Ralph gives out.
Yeah. No. Okay.
I just need chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
I do eat a lot of chickpeas.
Yeah, exactly.
I do eat a lot of
But
chickpeas.
it
and
was
peanuts.
the other stuff. No.
I did
Eats
like
a lot of chick penis.
Yeah,
what he
chickpeas.
said.
Bangkok.
Thailand ladyboy.
Loves them lady boys.
Oh, Mr. Ralph, what did I do to deserve this?
I don't know.
Ladyboys.
No.
It's accurate.
It's not accurate.
It's not. It's
No, it's
not.
It's
accurate.
not. It's not.
I did enjoy when you guys yelled at me when we were finishing up the first game because I lured the one boss at the end of the game like way out into the.
We
fucking
didn't
desert.
yell at you. It was fucking hilarious. We were like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Why is he all the way out there? It's like I just keep shooting him. He follows me. They're like, "Come back."
We're like 1,000 meters from the ammo
it's so
resupply.
fucking far. It's like I'm running out of ammo. It's like, well, yeah, because all the shit's here.
Yeah, the boss has to get to the second pyramid, and Steve runs off. He's like, "Oh God, it's chasing me!" Lost his sense of direction and stopped running towards the pyramid, and he's just 600 meters off the fucking.
Well, I kept looking up to shoot rockets and shit into his groin, and then I'm just like backpedaling, and before I know it, I'm just like, I'm gone. He gone.
All right, yeah, let's way into graphics.
Nice.
Graphics.
So, I mean, obviously, full disclosure, we played on the Fusion engine, which is kind of like an upscale of a lot of these games.
Yeah.
Now, saying that the first encounter still didn't look that great.
To be fair.
I mean, it came out in 2001. You can only do
I
so
mean,
much
It
with
didn't look terrible
But,
either.
but the thing is, especially when you're talking about the stuff, you have to take account into the time when these came out. Honestly, I mean, I don't think they were groundbreaking graphics when they came out, but for like, a sci-fi shooter, it's a little different. It's a little different standard. My problem with the graphics was just that they didn't do enough different. It was the same thing kind of over and over. Every level just kind of looked like, oh, here's our texture for the ground, here's our texture for the ceiling, here's our texture for the walls, go, go, go.
sand everywhere.
yeah.
Surprise, a
yes.
boulder.
I think that's how they got away with the huge environments, though.
Oh, of course.
They couldn't make it
Trade-off.
extremely deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because like even like I think it's the second one, right to start off the one where you're like surrounded by like mountains and stuff. That felt varied and different, at least, because they could do something with the architecture of the world. This kind of felt a little cookie cutter at times.
Cookie cutter.
And again, that's actually the difference between 1 and 2. You know what I mean? So like 3 had pretty good graphics for the time. A lot of guys on screen. That's like, it's impressive. Seeing a lot of enemies on screen is always going to be impressive.
Yeah.
Especially when like your computer just fucking houses it. Like it's no problem. Like you're always just like, awesome.
Yeah.
They had some really good jiggle physics in the third one. That was good.
Are you talking about your harpies?
They're talking about my harpies.
Oh man.
Flying titties.
Talking about his hard penis.
It's
I want to say the most impressive sights are when you can see extremely far out in the distance and you just see that whole line of enemies just coming towards you. And it not only looks amazing, but just kind of feels fantastic. No, that you are just charging this entire army worth of enemies. It's a very exciting experience.
The enemies and like the character models and stuff like that, they looked pretty good, I guess. But like you were saying, not only just the color palettes and everything like that, but you can tell like all the landscape was like very jagged. Like nothing, there was like nothing round at all. Like other than the boulder, like the Indiana Jones boulder in 2. Everything was just a box.
I'm just gonna say that you don't play Serious Sam for the graphics.
Well, yes.
I don't think that's part of the appeal.
You don't really have time to really sit and look at much either.
That's true.
no.
There were a few hilarious graphic moments, though. The one area where we had, like, the pyramid, and there was, like, 3 different directions to go, and you had to, like, unlock the doors in, like, each direction. Like, when you're standing on top of the pyramid and you're, like, running down and you see, like, all the grass rendering around you.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
like, hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, but you're, like, fighting enemies that are, like, 7 or 8 times further away, but you're like, I don't have grass.
Yeah, my grass isn't rendering.
Where's my grass?
Or the grass unrendering behind the castle.
That was the other
weird.
one.
I was running in a circle around me. Grass was popping up and then completely gone in a circle around. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Like your character model was sucking up the assets.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like, all the grass
Do you
was
know what I
rendered
mean?
everywhere
Yeah.
in sight except
I mean,
for
for
right around
for
you.
the game. I
Yeah,
don't mean
no,
like,
I got it. I got it, Ralph.
See, when I played, I was just eating the grass. Get it?
Vegan jokes.
Get it?
Yeah.
I've got
It's
them.
only funny when we do it.
Oh yeah, no shit.
See, now he's trying to like accept it, and that just takes the fun away.
Fucking goats over here.
Fucking goats.
Fucking goats.
You can tell they started stepping up a few things in 3.
3
Like,
felt different.
yeah.
3 felt like another world.
3 felt completely different compared to first and second experience. I mean,
Yeah, like I said, the
Encounter.
first encounter came out in 2001, second encounter 2002, and then 3 came out in 2011.
Yeah.
So, like, huge time to develop right there.
A little bit.
Again, though, it's like one of those things where 3 looks way better than the other 2. However, it's still not super varied, and they had an opportunity to like really take advantage of like, oh hey, we have better hardware now, we have a new engine, and they still just didn't really push much. It is, I think, in terms of actual design, the third one is the best because I think they take enough advantage of that kind of stuff to make it feel different enough. But really, if you get a second where you've killed enough enemies and you take a look around, you're like, okay, I see it. I see the issue.
I think, like, the inner town or small town, like the area where you're collecting the glass, you could definitely tell they spent a little bit more time in those types of areas.
Yeah.
So I think that about wraps it up for graphics.
Yeah.
Harpy titty.
Nice.
Harpy titties.
I mean, they were right in your face.
Copyright claim from NetherRealm Studios on those harpies. They look like straight Melina. Is it just me? Or Baraka with tits? Okay, never
Kinda.
mind. Maybe not.
Boob Raka.
Shut up.
You're reaching. That was a reach.
Blades come out of the nipples. You got some sharp areolas.
Let's talk about things we hear.
Music.
You know what? That was kind of the best part. Is like
No balls.
every enemy had like its clear and distinct sound. Each one like bring you like you got like this sense of anxiety depending on what that sound was. You're just like you could hear the mechs off at the distance. You could hear Scorpion screaming,
You can hear the harpies like,
and like they could be way out there, like not even rendering. Like, and you're just like, oh,
Even better when you hear the same sound layered over like 10 times, so you know there's just a huge group.
Oh my
coming
god!
at you.
Oh, boy.
There was one night where we stopped playing and a bunch of people hopped off. I think it was only me and Ralph still in the lobby, but we were just like sitting there just fucking around, and we didn't open the door to go out, and you could just hear the waves of enemies were coming anyway, and it was just constantly bulls just. And it kept getting louder and louder and more of them, and it was just
layered.
like, yeah, it was layering up so bad, and I was just like, oh man, I want to open that door so bad.
Did you open the
you?
door?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That's amazing.
They were everywhere, and I was just like, all right, and quit.
Now, I do want to say, when it comes to the sound effects, I was very disappointed in the third one when they changed the bull sound. They replaced the audio clip from the first and second one with a brand new audio clip, and it did not have the same impact on me.
You were holding on to a lot of nostalgia for that exact sound clip. Huh?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, they kept a lot of them the same throughout all the
Yeah.
games, but
Okay.
because in the first and second one, like every time you heard that bull sound, like you were saying, a certain level of anxiety, and then we'd all joke about it, and then we'd kill them and move on with the game. But that same sense of anxiety did not exist in the third one because that audio clip was changed.
There were a lot less bulls in the third one too.
Yeah. Seriously, less bullshit.
Ding.
Like, ding.
Just thinking about it now, the sound stands out more than the graphics because we had the rockin' music in the first and second encounter, occasionally rocking like music.
The second encounter was pretty intermittent. Like it was really only boss fights.
Mostly
in
just
the
the first
second one.
Okay.
Yeah, first one was just metal music the entire time.
But then all the weapons
Oh.
really have good sounds.
The war song is fantastic. I think that's the pinnacle of all of the sound design and music direction in this is just war. Like it's just stupid fun. The whole soundtrack is like that. It's
Yeah.
just stupid fun.
I think the music was the best in the first game. Standout songs like
Agreed.
some of those tracks near the end of the game of the first one, on point. And did not. There was some good tracks. Don't get me wrong in the second and the third one, but the first one just really clicked for me.
They stay with you.
Now, a couple things just to mention real quick. We have to toss out the guy's name, and I looked for him on IMDb just to see if he did anything else. But
John J. Dick.
John J. Dick,
John
J.
J.
Dick.
Dick.
John J. Dick, the voice of Serious Sam. He has nothing else logged. Well, he has one or two other things logged, but like
That's
pretty
enough.
much
the only thing I did.
That's enough.
It's like one
was
episode of a show you never heard of.
Ex-porn star, what were you hoping for?
I don't know, something.
Hey, come get this dick. I'm about to come.
Whoa!
I'm sure his wife hates him.
Probably. Yeah.
He is definitely divorced.
Divorced alcoholic living out of a van.
Speaking of which, like
He's like having sex with his wife. He's like, I'm gonna do some serious damage.
John, I'm signing
Get
the
off
papers.
of me now.
I'm just thinking he could use some of these quotes from this game in just his everyday life. And it'd
So
be
many
fucking-
missed opportunities.
Yeah, if he has kids. Like one of his lines from the game was "Wakey, wakey, motherfucker." Can you imagine just going to your kids every morning?
I do.
No,
I'm kidding.
You were supposed to.
I would never.
You were supposed to pull out. It's time for Plan B.
Jesus.
Oh shit! That's fucking amazing.
So, side note, while we're in audio, tying back to my original quote when we introed this episode, where I said, "Jesus, Harold Faltermeyer, Christ." So I had to Google who Harold Faltermeyer was because I was curious.
That's fair.
So let me tell you some information about him.
Why is this coming up in sound?
It was from a sound
So
clip.
he was a German action fantasy thriller musician, composer, and record producer, right?
What?
From the 80s. He composed the theme for Beverly Hills Cop, the Top Gun anthem. Information for
Oh,
you,
Ralph's
Ralph,
interested
just to-
again.
He'll put it
sorry.
in his sound bank.
Harry's
It's kinda
Music
interesting.
Minute.
Some people that he actually worked with: Donna Summer, Amanda Lear, Patti LaBelle, Barbara Streisand, Blondie, LaToya Jackson, Billy Idol, Cheap Trick, and Bob Seger.
Get the fuck out.
That's fucking crazy.
Okay.
And he has a Serious Sam reference.
Yeah, he has a Serious Sam reference.
It's fantastic.
Sorry, when it was mentioned in the game, I was like, who the fuck is this guy and why is Serious Sam mentioning him? Boy, did I go down that rabbit hole.
There you go.
So there you go.
Thank you for that. That's interesting.
Harry's Music Minute.
Some other quotes. I just want to get them out here. There were some of my favorites in the game. My diagnosis: acute lead poisoning. Giant scorpions that shoot guns. I guess sometimes wishes do come true.
I feel like they were like pretty sparse in the first two as far as like his quips.
For
The
sure.
third one, like he was just letting them fly.
Over the fucking top, like Duke Nukem style, just
Yep.
like fuck it.
Go for it.
This is my brand of humor.
I'll tell you what pissed me off, though, and you guys will probably remember this, but last night when we were playing, there was two serious, like where he said the word serious
Yeah.
quotes, like back to back within like a 30-second span.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking stupid.
That was corny as hell. I think I even said something about it where it's like, oh God, no, he didn't.
Put those at completely different points in the game, would have been fine.
It's seriously corny.
Ding. Ding.
It's not funny, Ralph.
I know.
So I think that about anybody got it?
That was a nice reenactment of the Steve Carell segment from.
Sorry, I just can't give.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
All right. Where's Jerry? Where's Jerry's music?
What?
Jerry? No.
Jerry.
Springer?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. Now for my final thoughts.
What?
Yeah.
From the
final
show.
thoughts.
He
Yeah.
would do fun. Oh, sorry. I was doing Jerry
Wait.
from Rick and Morty.
When you dropped in the desert.
Actually, you're doing Mr.
Well, yeah, I was doing
talking
Mr.
about
Meeseeks.
Jerry.
Can do, Jerry.
Can do. This really brought me back to, like, pretty much. It's obviously when the game came out, like the early 2000s, where it's just hopping on a PC game, playing with a bunch of friends, and just shooting shit and having just random laughs about it. Yeah, I mean, there's really not too much to grasp on the game, and it's just random stupid fun, especially when you're playing with your friends, and that's something that I appreciate about it.
Clark?
I just had a nostalgia for this style of game, and I haven't played any of them in a really long time, so it was nice to kind of get back to this. Overall, I would say that for the price and things like that, I think like the demographic is like there. This is like a steal for all of these fucking games, and it's a fun experience.
Ralph?
What the fuck? You tickling your throat over here? Need a throat tickler?
No, that's down here, Ralph. Throat tickler.
Exactly.
It's my dick.
This is the stomach tickler.
Well, his is the throat
so
tickler because it's
stupid.
9 inches long, thin as a pencil.
It's made for sword swallowers.
I enjoyed our time playing this. That was exclusively because of the company I had to do it. I really don't think I would have played this solo. There were moments that I really enjoyed and other ones where it was just kind of tedium. I would recommend it to someone who had a group of friends to play and, just wanted to do some run and gun action that you just, relax and not think about anything and just shoot stuff and make shit dead. That is totally a mood, and you can do that and fulfill that need with this franchise. That's basically my take on it. There's not much depth.
Harry?
I'm not going to be long-winded on this. I enjoyed my time with it, but it was definitely the co-op play. That being said, I don't think it's a great game. I just think it's fun to play.
So my final thoughts, I really enjoyed it. I thought, I like games mostly that are online or can be played with friends. So it really, pulled me in. Like you said, playing single player is brutal. Not only did I play through all 3 games with you guys, I played through the first encounter by myself solo just to get that feel of it as well. And like Clark mentioned earlier, it was extremely painful. The complete pack on Steam is normally priced like $120, which is insane. But it goes on sale like every 3rd month for $20 or whatever, which makes it totally worth it. And unfortunately, I didn't check out too much of the online, but there is online deathmatch and things like that you can play too. So let's move into the score.
The score.
It's definitely a wait for a sale game, and I would say with the one little caveat of if you have friends to play it with.
Steve?
Standalone game by itself, I would give it a C. With friends, this is A all the way. A.
Or
See what you did there. I was going to give it a shrug, just because I don't think the game itself is anything really to write home about. But if you've got a bunch of friends and you want to play something together, then it's definitely a gush. If you get, 4 or 5 idiots like these guys and you can play with it, play the game.
Don't worry, Ralph. I took it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Harry got confused again.
yeah, I was looking around.
That Alzheimer's kicks in sometimes.
Then it's a different experience.
I think this is a pretty. Okay, like. Let me start over.
Quick throw a preface out there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I fucking did it in final thoughts. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10, which is going to tie, and this is going to make a lot of sense, with Lollipop Chainsaw. Fun game, but I can't say it's a great game.
I don't know. I really like this game. Like you said, the co-op is pretty much where it's at. Online, unfortunately, these days it's not too populated, so you really have to have the friends. I mean, to score it, I would say I would give it probably like an 85%.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up.
Well, good job on your intro hosting gig here, Joe.
I mean, this is his first review too.
It is.
like official with the group
yeah.
review. So
Seriously,
welcome
well
aboard,
done.
sir.
Just threw you into the
Ding.
lions.
Ding!
We are seriously glad to have you here.
Ding! Yeah, seriously.
Seriously thankful
Ding.
you guys let me.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Ding, 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 ding.
I seriously appreciate your friendship.
Ding.
Seriously, guys, let's wrap it up.
Serious.
Ding.
Hey, I seriously love
Ding.
you guys.
So
I have a serious
Ding.
condition.
No.
And the only cure, more seriousness.
More serious conditions.
No, I think that's called Valtrex. That'll help mitigate your outbreaks.
Oh, the bell's broken.
Okay, all right.
It's not working.
Do we want to let them know what's coming up next?
Yo ho
No.
ho and a bottle of rum.
What do we do?
Yeah.
With a drunken sailor early in
The morning.
Throw him in the brig until he's sober. Throw him in the brig. It has to stop.
Dead weight. Oh, wait. Shit.
Yeah, so Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. So yeah, next you get your MUBRS, and then following that we are Yo-Ho Boys with a bottle of rum.
Pirate Simulator 2020.
All
Trying
right.
to think.
Stay lovely.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over.
Thanks for listening to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Stay up to date on our Facebook at facebook.com/superfunpodcast.